The meek shall inherit the earth, because their egos are humble, and this gives them truer perception. The meek shall inherit the earth, because their egos are humble, and this gives them truer perception. The kingdom of heaven is the Spirit's right, whose beauty and dignity are far beyond doubt, beyond perception, and stand forever as the mark of the love of God for His creations, who are wholly worthy of Him and only of Him. Nothing else is sufficiently worthy to be a gift for a creation of God Himself. Of your ego, you can do nothing to save yourself or others. But of your spirit, you can do everything for the salvation of both. Humility is a lesson for the ego, not for the spirit. Spirit is beyond humility, because it recognizes its radiance and gladly sheds its light everywhere. So the meek shall inherit the earth, because their egos are humble, and this gives them truer perception. So it's a journey in becoming meek, in becoming very meek. What a beautiful word, meek. To not be arrogant, to not assume. This is a beautiful reminder, because there are so many ways that egos want to protect themselves. Ego is the same as the little me, the self-concept. It always seeks to protect itself, to defend itself. So this defense in the mind is important to take a look at. This strain of defense, where the ego always seeks to defend itself, protect itself. We want to let it go so we can inherit the earth. Isn't that beautiful? We can inherit the earth. This means you'll know what the earth really is, what true perception really is. True perception is the undoing of the ego's perception. You who identify with your ego cannot believe God loves you. You do not love what you made. You do not love what you made, and what you made does not love you. This morning I heard David say, this world will return the favor of you making it. You made the world, and the world returns you favor by making you believe it made you. And this is an easy trick to see through if we want to. You do not love what you made, and what you made does not love you. Being made out of the denial of the Father, the ego has no allegiance to its maker. This is the return of the favor, quote, unquote, favor. Being made out of the denial of the Father, the ego has no allegiance to its maker. Being made out of the denial of the Father, out of the denial of the truth, of the source, of the Creator, the Mediator, the denial of this Creator is what the ego is made out of. The ego has no allegiance to its maker, the mind that started believing in it. You cannot conceive of the real relationship that exists between God and His creations because of your hatred for yourself you made. Cannot conceive of the real relationship that exists between God and His creations because of your hatred for the self you made. You cannot conceive of the real relationship between God and His creations because of your hatred for the self you made. You project onto the ego the decision to separate, and this conflicts with the love you feel for the ego because you made it. You project onto the ego the decision to separate, and this conflicts with the love you feel for the ego because you made it. No love in this world is without this ambivalence. And since no ego has experienced love without ambivalence, the concept is beyond its understanding. The concept of love. Love will enter immediately into any mind that truly wants it, but it must want it truly. This means that it wants it without ambivalence, and this kind of wanting is wholly without the ego's drive to get. Beautiful. This is really good teaching. So to want true love needs to be without ambivalence, without the ego's drive to get. There is a kind of experience so different from anything the ego can offer that you will never want to cover or hide it again. It is necessary to repeat that your belief in darkness and hiding is why the light cannot enter. It's necessary to repeat that your belief in darkness and hiding is why the light cannot enter. The Bible gives many references to the immeasurable gifts which are for you, but for which you must ask. This is not a condition as the ego sets conditions. It is the glorious condition of what you are. So this means you must want it, the light. But it's not a condition as the ego sets conditions. It's the glorious condition of what you are. Light. No force except your own will is strong enough or worthy enough to guide you. This brings it back to this core will within. Your own will is the force that is strong enough and worthy enough to guide you. In this you are as free as God and must remain so forever. So when your will is imprisoned, which it is when you bought into the ego, it is not strong enough to guide you. Let us ask the Father in my name to keep you mindful of His love for you and yours for Him. He has never failed to answer this request because it asks only for what He has already willed. Those who call truly are always answered. We can find this deep call inside, this force that is our own will. It is always our own will that guides us. But we need to give it to Spirit to receive the right guidance. The humbleness we spoke about. And if we're too busy protecting our egos, we're not in touch with that. Jesus says somewhere else in one of the lessons, it's good to ask, what is it that you are defending and against what? And then he points out it's the body that you defend. And you must have made up an outside force that you defend against. But this is where he says ego fights only with itself. There is no outside. So we can become really good at detecting this, detecting our own ego's desire to protect itself. This is important if we want to be happy, if we want to go higher, if we want to inherit the earth. God hides nothing from his Son, even though his Son would hide himself. But God hides nothing. Yet the Son of God cannot hide his glory. For God wills him to be glorious and gave him the light that shines in him. The Son of God cannot hide his glory. You will never lose your way, for God leads you. When you wander, you but undertake a journey that is not real. How many times have we heard this? You go in illusion, you wander off on detours. In a dream, a journey that is not real. When you wander, you but undertake a journey that is not real. The dark companions, the dark way, are all illusions. Turn toward the light, for the little spark in you is part of a light so great that it can sweep you out of all darkness forever. Turn toward the light, for the little spark in you is part of a light so great that it can sweep you out of all darkness forever. How beautiful. This is a decision not really by the intellect, but by just this desire inside in your heart. That little spark in you. Even if you felt darkness, if you feel heaviness, that spark can never go out. You can always seek that spark inside. Decide to turn toward the light. The children of light cannot abide in darkness, for darkness is not in them. Do not be deceived by the dark comforters, and never let them enter the mind of God's Son, for they have no place in his temple. When you are tempted to deny him, remember that there are no other gods to place before him, and accept his will for you in peace, for you cannot accept it otherwise. Accept his will for you in peace, for you cannot accept it otherwise. This is very clear. The peace within is the tool you can accept God with. And we keep hearing this, that there are no other gods to place before him. So anything you would defend is just an ego idol that is not real. There are no other gods to place before him. Only God's comforter can comfort you. In the quiet of his temple, he waits to give you the peace that is yours. Give his peace that you may enter the temple and find it waiting for you. But be holy in the presence of God, or you will not know that you're there. Only God's comforter can comfort you. That's better than a soft duvet cover. God's comforter. It's closer than anything you can put on your skin. It's already in you. It's already there. And he says the key is to give his peace. That's the key to the temple, to enter his temple. To give peace is a state of mind. That is the state of not getting, not trying to get or defend an ego. It's beautiful. The fear of the light can seem to take many forms. It definitely takes the form of defending an ego and fear of loss, belief in sacrifice, like you guys spoke about this morning. There are temptations to deny him. It says, when you're tempted to deny him, remember that there are no gods to place before him, and accept his will for you in peace, for you cannot accept it otherwise. So yeah, to lay down defenses is to lay down fear. So yeah, all fear can be translated into fear of the light. It's just been projected into form. But it's never about form. It's the fear of the light. Whatever you believe it is. If you believe it's fear of loss of a relationship, no, it's fear of the light. Fear of not being accepted or not being loved. Fear of the light. Or fear that you won't make it. It's the fear of the light. And light is truth. Yeah, what does it mean? That the meek shall inherit the earth because their egos are humble. Inherit is like being given everything. And inheritance is what you receive, usually from your parents or someone who loves you a lot. Inheritance. And God loves you a lot, so He uses the earth, not really the world, not really the projected world, but the real world. So we get it when we forgive, then we start to know what the real world is. And we become so free that we know we have everything and we are everything. Because there is no body to protect, no ego to protect. The mind is free. So he doesn't even say that their egos are undone. He says their egos are humble. The glacier of light can be a symbol of the spirit. Does push the darkness up to awareness. Gets pushed out. So if you experience some darkness, it could be that. It could also be that it is chosen and you can choose differently. Our will is very powerful to make that choice. Choice for the right mind, a choice for the light.